If your company's heading into liquidation, you're probably worried you'll never be able to trade again, your reputation is damaged forever, or your business dreams are over. But what if I told you that you can legally liquidate your company and restart immediately, in some cases completely debt-free? There are thousands of UK directors facing liquidation every single month, and almost all of them wonder clearly, can I really close a company and start again right away? Because there's so much confusion, there's so much misinformation, and there is a genuine fear of legal trouble. Now, many directors mistakenly think that liquidation means permanent business failure. Now, that's not true. If you know exactly what to do, and you do it safely, clearly, and legally. Now, in this video, I'm going to go clearly and transparently explain the truth about restarting immediately after liquidation. And you're going to learn exactly what the UK insolvency laws allow you to do after liquidation, how you can legally start a new company straight away, the exact rules that you need to follow to avoid legal trouble, and practical steps to successfully restart your business life, in most cases, debt-free. It's Chris Worden, I'm from Director First. I've helped thousands of UK directors navigate insolvency safely, and many of them have restarted again successfully. I have seen first-hand directors wrongly assume liquidation means they can never trade again, they can never be a director again, and I've seen directors overcome that. I've shown them exactly what you can and what you can't do. So if you're stressed, if you're uncertain about what this actually means, stay with me. The video is going to clearly explain what you can and what you can't do. Now, what the law says about restarting after liquidation, I want to sort of hammer home some of these. I'm going to talk about common pitfalls and mistakes that you need to avoid. I'm probably going to go into a few examples, and I'm going to tell you exactly what you must do immediately if you're going to safely and legally restart a limited company. Okay, so if you're ready for clear answers, transparency and genuine help, you are in the right place, ladies and gentlemen. So let's clearly answer the first question every director wants answering. Can you liquidate your company and start again immediately? And the simple, clear answer is yes, you absolutely can. In fact, UK insolvency law doesn't stop you from liquidating a current company and legally setting up a brand new business immediately. But here's the crucial point that you need to clearly understand. You've got to follow specific legal guidelines, and you've got to be transparent in every step of the way. And that ensures that you avoid common pitfalls and legal mistakes. Now let's clear up a few things. I want to define exactly what UK insolvency law allows regarding restarting after a liquidation. Talking about forming a new company, you're legally allowed to form as many companies as you want, as long as you carry on with you keep up with your fiduciary duties on each company. So that's putting returns on time, okay? You could even re-enter the same market. So you could be a builder that liquidates and you are still the builder. There's nothing legally stopping you from working again in the same sector or in the same industry immediately. You've got to be careful about buying assets. But you can still buy assets from your old company. You can legally buy machinery, plant, intellectual property, stock, machinery, as long as it's done transparently and at a fair market value through a proper valuation process. And what this means is liquidation can genuinely offer directors a legal fresh start, and it'll clear unsecured debts, and it allows them to trade again immediately. Now, it's dead important though, I mean they're the good things, it's important that you understand what the law doesn't allow you to do, okay? You've got to be really careful when you're using the same or a similar name, okay? If you're going to do that, you need to follow some absolutely stringent and strict guidelines, because that can lead to some serious personal issues if you ignore them, okay? Another thing you're not allowed to do is transferring assets cheaply out of the company or dishonestly or try and hide them. So let's say you've got a van that's worth 15 grand. You can't get that out of the company for 5 grand. It's worth 15 grand. I had one this week where a director, he's owed 100 grand. He is genuinely owed £100,000, but he owes the HMRC £150,000. And he wanted to buy the vehicles of his business. And we had a valuation done. And he said, Chris, can I not take the vehicles in lieu of the money that I'm owed? And the answer sadly is no, because the HMRC are basically a higher ranking creditor than him. So if he was to take those assets, okay, and he was to move them into a new company, and basically leave HMRC without getting anything from the liquidation, that's where he could cause himself some problems, okay? So another thing that you've got to be really careful of is if you've been disqualified as a director, you're not going to be able to trade as a director again. You know, if you do that, you're opening yourself up to some really serious consequences. But if you follow the rules, okay, liquidation, it offers a legitimate second chance. But if you get it wrong, it can lead to legal trouble for you, your new company, and that ultimately could end up in personal liability, right? So let's look clearly now at how you can follow rules safely, right? Let's talk about naming stuff. A critical rule many directors overlook, and there's so much nonsense out there on the internet, is around naming your new company. Now, the UK insolvency laws has very strict guidelines about using the same or a similar name, okay? You can't legally use the same or a similar name without clearly following this process. And it's called the Section 216 of the Insolvency Act. And essentially it prohibits a director from using a same or a similar name for a period of 5 years. Now, this is the easiest way. If you already have a company that's set up and trading, and it's been trading over 12 months with a similar name, that gets you around Section 216. You can go to court to make an application to a judge as to why your new company doesn't contravene Section 216. It can be 5 to 8 grand in legal fees. For everyone watching there that those two things don't apply, you can buy your company name off a liquidator. It's generally not worth a great deal, especially it's probably just got a value to you, so you might pay £500 plus VAT to the liquidator on the day of liquidation, and then you've got 28 days to advertise the fact that you've bought this company in the London Gazette, and you must write to the creditors to let them know. If you fail to comply with these rules, you are in big trouble. Personal liability, fines, sometimes it can even go criminal. So be really careful. If you've not got what I've just said, just slow me down and rewind me, okay? Now, get advice on the naming issues. If you want us to discuss your specifics, give us a call, okay? Second one, let's talk about asset transferring, right? It's critically important that if you are going to go into liquidation, but you're going to sell some or all of the company assets before you appoint the liquidator, you've got to make sure that you get them valued independently, right? You go to an independent agent and ask them to value your assets, and they'll do a report and they'll sort of give an in situ value and an ex situ value. An in situ is what they believe it's really worth to you to essentially close one day, start the day after with the same sector, same staff, same assets. But there's also an ex situ value, and the ex situ value is what the agent believes they'll be able to raise at auction for your assets. Now, you will need to pay a fair market value, okay? And the key thing is to offer close to the in situ value. But the reality is, as long as you're bringing into the insolvency more than the ex situ value, it's very hard for you to be criticised by creditors, because you're getting back to creditors more than what they would get in an auction scenario. The key thing is you've got to be guided. We will oversee all this process. We will hold your hand. We'll help you with agents. We'll help you with the IP. And it's a case of getting the agent to recommend the offer that you're making. And then you'll speak to the insolvency practitioner, and you might even get terms to pay for those assets, okay? But when you're selling assets, it's got to be at a fair market value. If you sell them cheap, if you try and hide them, what will happen is the insolvency practitioner, when they're appointed, is they're going to basically come and look at what's been done. They're going to clearly scrutinise any types of asset sale, and if it's found that you've sold them too cheap, they will be coming for you, okay? Key thing with this stuff is you've got to get advice immediately, right? If what I'm talking to you is resonating, it's, striking a chord, pick the bloody phone up, because you've got to act responsibly. You've got to act honestly, and once you're insolvent, you've got to act in the best interest of creditors, okay? Now, if you follow the guidelines, I can't say it totally gets rid of any issues for you, but it minimises the risk, okay? and that'll allow you to do a safe legal restart after liquidation. And if you understand these rules, okay, I hope you understand that transparency is key. It's essential, right? Now, I'll talk to you about some real life examples. I have been involved with hundreds of these over the years. I'll tell you one that I've got on the table right now. So I'm supporting a builder. A builder has not been paid a really, really large debt from a company, okay? Sadly, that's forced him over the edge. But in amongst it all, he's got a decent business, this guy. So what we did is we got an agent to value the business. Now, even though he's got a decent business, it only really has any value to him, because if he stops and walks off site, the 4 jobs that he's working on, there's no value at auction there. His vehicles are financed up to the hilt, so they're basically pretty much worth what the finance is on them, and he has some hand tools, and he has a website, and he has a database, and he's going to pay some goodwill. He's essentially offering £5,500 for his business, and he's going to pay it over 2 months. And the agents recommended it as a good offer, and the insolvency practitioner has allowed him to pay it back over 2 months. Okay, it's a really good outcome for him. It allows him to start again legally. Okay, now if you're watching this and you're thinking, right, how can I do this myself? How can I practically start a business again safely? These are the steps that you need to take. I mean, the first thing, pick the phone up. The first critical step is to get immediate professional insolvency advice. Now, you might not like me, you might want to speak to somebody else, but speak to somebody. And when you talk to them, you need to be transparent about what you're trying to achieve. Because if you get advice early, it hopefully stops you making any mistakes. Second thing is you've got to set up a new company, okay? Get a new company's formed at company's house, get a bank account registered for VAT if it's needed, and then we've got to, before I move on, if you're setting up your new company, remember the stuff about naming. If you are going to use the same or similar name, you're better off using a separate name. So I'll go for Chris Worden, and Chris Worden Builders is going into liquidation. I could go to company's house and call it ABC Limited, and then when I've bought the name of the liquidator at the creditors meeting, I'll change, and I've bought the trading style Chris Worden, that's when I can change the name at company's house to Chris Worden Builders and Joiners Limited. Best practice is you set up the new limited company, but you don't have a same and similar name. You change it at company's house once you've bought it off the liquidator, and once you've informed your creditors and you've put the advert in the London Gazette, okay? If you're going to sell some assets and you want to transfer them out of the insolvent company to a connected company, you've got to do it transparently, you've got to do it legally. So you need an independent professional valuation from an agent, okay? We will put you in touch with agents, we will help you oversee these processes. And then once the agent has done the report, we'll discuss with the agent and the insolvency practitioner about how you're going to pay for them. But you need somebody other than you giving their view on what your assets are worth, okay? Now, people are going to always sort of question you for doing this, you know, pre-packs, because sadly, some people are going to be left not getting paid. And I hate videos that say, you can do this and get rid of all your debt, you know. You can use insolvency laws to get the outcome that you're looking for, but you've got to remember is, there are people that are going to suffer from this. Creditors are going to suffer. So try and be transparent with them. Let them know what's going on, okay? This isn't for everybody. There's no point doing this, racking up big bills and doing it again in 6 months' time. I want you to understand what your issues have been and why you're going to do this, okay? Now, if you follow this advice, it's giving you the best chance possible, okay? I'm going to give you some clear steps to do now. Remember, first thing, pick the phone up, get some professional advice. Second thing, get your valuation. Get an agent involved, get them to value the business and the assets. Third thing, get your new limited company set up, get all the relevant HMRC stuff done as well, okay? And then you ask for a full proposal of the company that you're working with, right? So, I hope you found this video useful. My name is Chris Worden. I'm from Director First. Any questions, give us a call. God bless.